Yes, everyone. Welcome. Another video here from the Tokyo Real Estate Man. And this, of course, is surfing at Kugenuma Beach in Japan. And it's where I would say the surf is not the best there, but the surf culture definitely in this area is really good. And I just wanted to tie some of this stuff in with a story with my family or my wife's family. Part of my wife's family actually had a house in Nakano for many years, which is near Shinjuku, and it was an old tire shop. And I've even been there, and I've been there about 10 years ago. My kids were really young, and we had a really nice visit there for a few hours. It was really nice to meet some of my wife's, just part of her family that I'd never met before, and we had a really nice afternoon together. And my kids were really young, and I could just showing us around the building and everything like that. Recently, they sold though their uh, their house there in Nakano, and they decided to move here to the Shonan area, and they got themselves a nice. The way they look at it, it's like apparently some sort of Chinese uh, family or investors. I don't know. They bought their house for probably around Ichioku yen, which is $1 million for them. Uh, and it was, I could just tell you from being in that house, it was really old, grubby, old house that just sat in a great location. Sat in a great location, and they were very happy to sell it because their kids had all grown up, and then they moved here to this area here of Chigasaki or Shonan. And I thought, what I thought is, I thought I have this sort of idea of extrapolation. This is interesting art on this one right here, isn't it great? Interesting art on that one. My idea of extrapolation is that if my family did something like this, other families must have done the same. And what they did is they basically sold the house and they moved to an apartment here in the Shonan area. And I thought from that story we could look at this is just really impressed with this piece of art. I think it's really great. Isn't that great? All that hokusai sort of motif of the wave and the Torii sort of keeps crossing even in like the modern versions of you see it in videos like that. They're really nice, and you can see this is telling the story of this little surf town, like the beautiful girl, beach girl, and like their street cars and the waves are all there. Anyway, it's a very attractive area, and then I will come over here and I'll share the tab, and this is going to be sort of an extrapolation of my family's story. So I know that a lot of people here who might watch this channel are thinking of detached homes, but I also wanted to look when we look in areas near the beach area here in Shonan, okay, that uh, for an older Japanese population, like we have the koreika, which is the aging of the society, right? They to move from a house to like a concrete building with elevators and stuff like that. That's convenient near shopping, uh, clean, renovated, and new. That's really attractive. And for example, that happened to my family. So I'm thinking that other Japanese families might be thinking the same. And when you look at like here at home, the way that they do their market or they they do their pricing with sort of different colored dots, the blue dots being the cheapest, and the red dots here, or the red pill, as I always say, being the highest. It's a really good way of looking at sort of a healthy market. And this is a healthy market. Now, about a month and a half ago, I did a video on a town in Chiba, okay? And in that town, it was called the Choshi. And I talked about it in that video. I talked about how I'd done a lot of weddings in that town. It's near the town of Inobosaki or Choshi, right on the border between Chiba and Ibaraki. And when you went to look in that town, all these dots here were blue. Okay. Now that when you see the sort of wave of blue and stuff like that, what you're seeing is no liquidity or no U-turnability. And what you're seeing in those cases in the town of Choshi is broken markets. And that's kind of what you see all the people uh, promoting the guy's show or even Anton to some degree. Although his behavior doesn't demonstrate that. Like I just saw his Instagram post today, and he had mentioned that uh, the houses of Japan where there's great opportunities for foreigners. But like, yeah, he doesn't buy the stuff in the where the markets are broken. Like when you're getting into the empty homes, into neighborhoods like this that have healthy markets like this one here, where there's different distributions, okay, in price, and you're still there's even red dots, right? So you're still getting into areas where the top end of the market is. That's where you want to invest. That's where you have the most opportunity. Why? Because families like my family, people that have, okay, they got $1 million for their house, right? At the end of their life, they probably got another 400, $500,000 for themselves as well in their bank account. Okay, so they're moving here to these like to a place like this. They're going to put some cash down on this, buy their apartment. They're going to have their bank account still, okay, and they're also going to have their retirement income. And retirement income in Japan is very, very, very modest. Like people would get maybe $1,000 a month for their retirement income. So you really have to make really good moves in Japan in order to retire. Anyway, I thought we could look at some stuff here in this marketplace right here. Now, keep in mind what I talked to you about is a lot of in this model that we're using today. I think a lot of older people really like this area. Okay, younger people too, though. Younger people too. It's very popular. It's even the surf culture in Japan is a very young one. So a lot of the sort of surf culture beams out of this area right here. But this is a really good area to be in because it has liquidity. Liquidity. I gotta learn that word. And I mentioned earlier the beach here, Kugenuma. This is just known for its best wave. Look at the distribution of price you have in this little strip here, as it were. Anyway, we're going to go through quickly some properties right now. I'm going to go through them rapidly because I wanted to give a preamble to this video to develop what maybe the psychology of the Japanese marketplace look coming into here the areas by Shonan Beach or Chigasaki Beach. This is a house here for Nissan Q or apartment. Excuse me. Everything that we're looking at today is going to be apartments in concrete buildings near the beach and also inside the town. This one is for Nissan Q180, or you can just say Sanzenman. Okay, and I think it was 80. This is a 3 bedroom apartment here on the second floor. This is the one here, built in the 1980s. Okay, and you can see it's just a nice space. Just a nice space. But it could use some updating and stuff like that. It could use a little bit of updating, and the updating is you can see that when we look at one other market sample, right? You'll see that that is a difference. But you don't necessarily have to do any updating at all to it here, at all. I think it just needs to be sort of cleaned up. But right now, I guess it's a vacant house, right, or a vacant apartment, excuse me. Okay, now the one minus I thought about this apartment, okay, is you see it has a good balcony, is coming in the next picture. This is a 2 floor sort of condominium. It's on the second floor, which is nice. But I think that I don't think there's an elevator in this building. So this building series was built in 1981, and the consciousness perhaps of this is going to be the pre-bubble and real estate sort of, or in the mid or the run up in the bubble. Anything is going to sell at this point in time because this would be bought as a second home or something like that. And the population is also younger at that point. Okay, so they wanted a newer building, and the idea of an elevator being important because of not having any stairs and stuff like that is not as much sort of in the consciousness as it is now, for example. Anyhow, it's a nice sort of I think there was only 12 or 15 units in this complex, so which is nice because you'd have a nice sort of piece of your section of the land would be a nice one. However, there is no elevator, and I think that's a real minus in that one. In that we're looking here, everything is very convenient to all of these stations right there. And this is Kugenuma station is 10 minutes away. Okay, and then it's also going to be near all these sort of Shonan area stations. And there's also, I believe, there is parking in this one apartment here as well. But there is no elevator, and management fees of 56, repair fees of 17, so around 20,000 yen a month, which is very normal. And the name of the apartment is Kugenuma. That's Kugenuma. It's a very difficult kanji, and south facing. But again, all the systems, of course, here are working. 3 LDK, 81 meters on the second floor, built 1979. I was right. This is sort of 1979. So you understand the consciousness of the people at that point in time. There is parking if you'd like, but it's another 10,000 yen a month. And then this is, of course, Shoryuken, which is ownership right now, and balcony of 9 9 meters. Okay. Anyway, that's a look at this one here. We can go quickly here to the map. The location is really good. This is a great beach park, so I try to pick a nice selection of it where the price is a little bit cheaper and a great relationship here to the beach. This is the beach. It's a beautiful beach park. Anyway, we'll come here to the next section selection that I've chosen today. I'll try to go through them quicker right here. Um, Coming here to the top. I got to come here to the top. And this is, I think this is a 56-meter one for 2,100 mon. Okay. And this is in a classic sort of late 1960s first wave sort of condominium. And you can see it in the pictures there. And but a building like this is going to have an elevator. However, the minus to a building like this is maybe this has a little bit of an older appeal. However, this is maybe I'm hoping that that pool would, or this pool, for example, in the summer would be operational and stuff like that. But there is a pool, so and this is a very good price for a very good unit near the beach. We can go through the listing details really quickly. Okay, and 2,100 baht again, 6 minutes away from the station. 10,000 yen for your management fees. 160,000, 60,000 yen for your excuse me, for your repair fees. Older building is going to be a little higher. Because of that, 2 LDK, 50 meters, 7-meter balcony, third floor of 8, built in 1968. They see that we know that that's that first wave of condominium. We can see it in terms of its design. There is a parking spot if you'd like as well. Shoryuken, which is ownership, 80 units in the building. Location right now, again, close to the beach, just and at a little bit of a lower price point. However, perhaps for the Japanese consciousness, okay, maybe like a building in the look of this one is a little too old, and that's why it's being priced where it is. Okay, we'll come back here to the top. There's just a lots of stuff to talk about. Like, we're just looking at a few samples in the market. When you're going to buy, we're going to look at 50, 60, 100 samples in the marketplace. They will come here to the top. I think that this one here was like the top selection in the market. And of course, we're going up price. And what does this price mean? It means that there's demand in this neighborhood for these kind of apartments. And this is where I'm going to connect it to my family, for example. They're sitting with their $1.5 million, and maybe they just want to buy this because it has everything they need. They want a newer building, they want a clean building, they want an elevator. It has everything they need. So that first sample with no elevator, I think that's an out for it's just an out. Its location to the beach. It's a nice apartment. It's been all renovated. You see that it's got a sort of a more modern. I don't exactly know when this one was built. I'm going to think the late 80s or perhaps the 1990s. The newer stuff is going to be in the millions because we know that in the current dollar or the current inflation is hitting Japan hard. We did that video the other day. We see that the inflation is hitting Japan hard, and it's going to figure its way through, especially in the new product. This is a nice house though, and you can see why it's priced this way. This one's going to move. Oh, it's going to move for sure. Anyway, this is the one sort of main street before you go to the beach, and you'd walk over here to go to the beach. But don't forget, most people in Japan are pretty genki too, and like they're living the longest in the world right now because they eat the healthiest and stuff like that. Anyway, we'll move down here to the information here in the listing right here, and this is I think it's Sujido Eki right there. Is going to be what it says is that 2 minutes away from there, really close. 4,490 man, or this is going to be 300,000 US dollars to be by the beach. Can you do that in Hawaii? When we back up in this, we look in these comparative models here in Shonan or in Sujido or Kugenuma, we can get into these sort of think we're always looking for a better price. But when we back up, when we look in the world's sort of markets, like can you buy a place in Waikiki? How much is that going to be? Could you get an apartment like this? No, you can't. Can you do this in San Diego? Can you do this here in Vancouver for $300,000? No, you can't. So in some ways, okay, I'm finding like more expensive selections to you in the Japanese marketplace, because the nicer quality Japanese places are obviously going to be selling for more because they have internal demand. But when we back up, when we do a comparative pricing to the stuff around the world, this stuff is a really just a great deal. Anyway, 1,006 or 16,000 yen for your management. This is going to be more. It's a nicer building, so everything's going to be a little bit more expensive for your management fees and your repair fees. What are the thinking of the people coming into these condominiums? They've already lived their life. They don't want to fix a house anymore. If you're in your 30s or 40s, you're into your house fixing thing because you still have that vitality, and you also have finances coming in. People that are later in their life, they're wanting, we're just going to use our savings to get the things we want. And one of the things that they don't want to maybe do is damn repair their house. Other people are going to do the house repairs, and you're going to live in a community. And this is sort of thinking. Southeast facing, everything of course is working here in the house. 73 units, fourth floor of 43 of a 14 floor building, a 10-meter balcony. I was interested in seeing there's parking for 11,000 yen, bike or a motorcycle parking for 2,000 yen. Built, I was right, 19. Oh, I was wrong. Did I say that? I'm not sure what I said. Did I say late 1990s? Yeah, it is. You can see it in the terms of its design. Built in 1997. Come up here to its location. Of course, it's Shoyuken, which means you have ownership. You can see that everything here is right near the beach and stuff like that. If we were to back up here a little bit and we can put in a key one, which is a supermarket one, like here, you'll see that there's that's all around it right there, and very convenient. When we put the route in, I don't know how many minutes away we are. Anyway, this is a video about looking at the Shonan market, but a little bit of the consciousness, 13-minute walk away from the house. So bicycle, walk, car, people are going to just, they're like, they're already prepared to pay this money. They have savings, or they have investments, or they have a pension coming in. They're going to pay a lot of this stuff for cash and stuff like this. Anyway, another video here from the Tokyo Real Estate Man, looking at the Shonan market, and also like I wanted to educate a little bit of people with the consciousness of the Japanese public and what they want. And of course, this is an extrapolation model of using my family, but my family cannot be the only ones that are thinking like this. Anyways, another video here from the Tokyo Real Estate Man. If you're interested in properties in Tokyo, in Japan, you can always come here to, I don't know, I hope, there's my Instagram. I think I did a car video there on my car video uh, channel there yesterday. I'm not successfully ending that one very well here, so we'll just come here to the last way of contacting me, and perhaps the best way is come here to the website tokyorealestateman.website, and then at the very top there you'll see my contact mail right there. You can use this contact. Use both. If you're going to send me a mail, use both. I'm not convinced this is always working, so I just put my mail there on top. Anyhow, that's my website, tokyorealestateman.website. いつもこのチャンネルを見ての皆様ありがとうございます。この動画でもう終わりです。ありがとうございます。失礼しました。